This is the litmus test, folks. This is one of those. It separates the wheat from the chaff, the conservative from the mere libertarian. President Trump, in the Oval Office, signs an executive order to prosecute people who burn the American flag.
And what the penalty is going to be, if you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail, no early exits, no nothing. You get 1 year in jail. If you burn a flag, you get, and what it does is incite to riot. I hope they use that language, by the way. Did they?
Yeah, incitement is
incite to riot. And you burn a flag, you get 1 year in jail. You don't get 10 years, you don't get 1 month. You get 1 year in jail, and it goes on your record. And you will see flag burning stopping immediately.
Now, first of all, we should all be able to agree at the end. You will see flag burning stop immediately. But, well, actually, you know what? Maybe we won't all agree on that. Even that is going to be one of these wheat from chaff tests to distinguish the conservative from the mere libertarian. Because they come at things from different premises. One, the libertarians have this idea that if you ban something, you get more of it. It's a little bit of the I don't mean to be too tough on our libertarian friends, on our classically liberal friends, but there's a little bit of magical thinking that goes on with all of liberalism, because liberalism is based on false premises about human nature. One of those is, if you ban something, you'll get more of it. They say, for instance, the real way to reduce marijuana usage is to legalize all of it. They have this idea that when you legalize something, when you decriminalize something, you could get less of it. But when you ban something, you get more of it. Because, I don't know, people are just really naughty or something like that. But that's not how it works. The classical idea, the conservative idea, the idea that has existed and been proven correct from classical antiquity to the present, is that when you ban something, you get less of it. And when you subsidize something, you get more of it. That's how it works. But let's get to the meat of the EO. Trump says that he is going to prosecute people who burn the American flag. In fact, I have the text of the EO right here. It says, our great American flag is the most sacred and cherished symbol of the United States of America and of American freedom, identity, and strength. Fact check, true. It's not the most sacred symbol in America. Probably you would say the crucifix is the most sacred symbol in America, or some other image of Christ, a God, truly a godly, sacred image. But the most sacred and cherished symbol of America is the flag. Fact check, true. Notwithstanding the Supreme Court's rulings on First Amendment protections, which we'll get to in a moment, the court has never held that American flag desecration conducted in a manner that is likely to incite imminent lawless action, or that is an action amounting to fighting words, is constitutionally protected. And he cites Texas v. Johnson from 1989, which we'll get to, as I mentioned, in a moment. So notice what he's saying here. He's saying, yes, the Supreme Court has already ruled, relatively recently, to outlaw laws that ban flag burning. But the Supreme Court has never ruled that American flag desecration that is conducted in a manner that is likely to incite imminent lawless action is protected. That is not. So he's setting up where he's saying, look, I'm not intentionally creating a fight with the Supreme Court here. I am going to prosecute flag burning in a way that is allowed by the Supreme Court, even after the Supreme Court overruled laws that ban flag burning. And then finally, the EO is much longer, but just the final point I mention on it. He says, my administration will act to restore respect and sanctity to the American flag and prosecute those who incite violence or otherwise violate our laws while desecrating the symbol of our country to the fullest extent permissible under any available authority. This is really great. I love this. I saw someone on social media say, I haven't seen any actual Trump supporters who are defending this EO. Well, you got one here, buddy. I'm your Huckleberry. I love this executive order. Trump gets it. Trump gets it in a way that many self-styled conservatives, most self-styled conservatives in my lifetimes, don't get it. The depths of this man's conservatism go a lot deeper than many people who call themselves principled movement conservatives. What he's saying here is not a direct challenge to the court, but it obviously will be open to legal challenges. I hope there are legal challenges because the Supreme Court rulings from 1989 and 1990 respectively that overturned laws banning the burning of the American flag were wrongly decided. And we'll get to how that is in a second. So this, in a way, is akin to more of a hate crime law. It's like a hate crime law for the right. The left has its hate crime laws that allows them. It doesn't give them the first opportunity to prosecute their enemies. Their enemies, that is us, will commit a crime, and then the left will use hate crime laws to jump the charges up a little bit. This is kind of like hate crime laws for the right. It's much more justifiable than the left-wing hate crime laws. They're saying, look, if you are inciting a riot, if you are inciting imminent lawless action, if you are engaging in fighting words, and you're burning an American flag on top of that, well, we're going to prosecute you to an even fuller extent, and we will put you in jail for a year. I really, really like this. Have I made it clear how much I like this? I want to focus in, though, before we get to the Supreme Court decisions that are at the heart of this battle. Notice the word that keeps popping up here. Sacred. It's the most sacred symbol of America. It's, we're going to restore sanctity to the American flag. And we're not going to let people desecrate this symbol. The Supreme Court has never held that flag desecration is protected in this or that manner. Notice that word sacred, the sense of the sacred. This is key. This is something Trump gets, that conservatives used to get, that modern people don't get. One of the chief problems of our political era is we have lost the sense of the sacred. Why uphold any law? Let me ask you that. Why do I care what is in the Constitution? The whole battle is supposed to be over what is constitutional and what is not. Does the Constitution permit burning of the flag? Does it not permit burning of the flag? Why do I care what the Constitution says? Why? It's just some piece of parchment with ink on it. Why do I care? Because I'll be put in jail if I don't. Maybe we can duke it out over what it means. Why do I care at all? In a larger abstract sense, why do I care? Because we hold that the Constitution is sacred, that there is something sacred about the founding of our country, about our political order. We hold it in reverence. Maybe not the reverence that we hold for God. I'm not saying we worship it as we worship God, but we hold it to be kind of sacred. Your grandpa dies, and your grandpa leaves you his watch or something. I don't know. Grandpa leaves you his World War II medals. Grandpa leaves you his favorite leather jacket. And you treat those things differently than you would treat other objects, even objects that superficially look the same. Because it was your grandpa's, you treat it with a little more respect. You hold it in a kind of reverence. You treat it in a way where it's kind of sacred. We do it because we love our grandpa. And love of country, patriotism, is an extension of the love of your family, of filial piety. Okay? That's why we hold it with a kind of respect, because this is what holds us all together. It's what allows us to have some peace so we can exist, we can flourish in a way that is conducive to the common good of all. That was a great clip. Now stop, ring the bell, subscribe. See you next time.